I was hoping the camera would pick it up, but it really isn't showing what my eye was seeing at the time. The visibility in the water column on the way down was about 18 inches, which isn't great, but I could still operate in that amount of visibility on the bottom. But the problem was that once you got to the bottom, the visibility just plummeted, down to just a few inches. Maybe just a couple or 3 inches. There was an interesting phenomena where the maybe 2.5 or 3 inches off of the bottom, there was a really strong current with its own, almost like its own unique water flow, like a river of sediment, and you can see how fast it's flying by the flashlight, and it really just completely obstructed the bottom and my ability to see anything. And if anything, using a light just kind of blew everything out with the sediment. It all just kind of reflected back. Without this odd phenomena at the bottom, I would have been able to see and maybe even find something. With 18 inches visibility, you can. It's not great, but you can do it. But under these conditions, with this really odd flow on the bottom, it was extremely difficult to get anything done. So the goal here was to grab the anchor line and follow it down. And the purpose of that is anytime you're on the bottom or you're operating at any level in a water column, you want to be able to maintain a certain amount of buoyancy. You don't want to be bouncing off the bottom. So you want to be able to maintain a given distance from the bottom. And without visual reference, that's extremely difficult to do. You'll either find yourself floating back to the top of the water, or you'll find yourself plummeting and gouging into the bottom. And neither one of those are good or even safe. So my goal in this was to follow the anchor line down, and then I would know exactly where the bottom was. At that point, I could adjust my buoyancy so that I maintained a given distance off of the bottom. At this point, because of the really poor visibility, I couldn't see anything, and so I had no idea where I was with reference to the boat, which can be dangerous if you have to come up. You don't know if there's another boat zooming by that could hit you. So you always want to come back up at the safest place possible, which was my boat. So I tied a reel off to my anchor so I would always have reference to my boat. And I swam into the current, which was really strong. And after a while, I just decided against it. It just wasn't, I was having to work too hard to not get anything done. I wasn't able to see anything. So I just went ahead and just aborted that effort and ended up aborting the dive. All right, I'm gonna abort this dive.